Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a stainless steel 2025 limited edition of 18 pieces from Arnold Son of La Chaux-de-Fonds. This is the Arnold Son Luna Magna steel turquoise, and actually it's more than just steel and turquoise because it also includes white opal. An absolutely shocking watch. This much Arizona turquoise is the kind of thing that pops eyes, and I remember when I was a little kid and I first saw a polished turquoise when my aunt came back from the Southwest, I looked at that stone as though it were the moon landing because I could never believe that a rock found in nature could look like that. And so this watch gives you that and more. 44 millimeters in diameter, 16.4 millimeters thick. It's 50.2 lug-to-lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, this is the personal piece of U.S. distributor and representative of Arnold & Son, Samir Shah. So if you're wondering how you get serial number 0 of 18, keep in mind this is his personal watch that I'm sharing with you. On my wrist, it wears quite nicely. The thing about Arnold & Son cases is that they've always emphasized a separation between the structure of the lugs and the case itself. To make a big watch wear well on a small wrist, they decided that the lugs would be short, stubby, and tightly downturned, understanding that you can make a bigger watch but not a bigger customer. So on my wrist, 16 centimeters circumference, this looks and feels perfectly natural. And if your wrist is my size or larger, you should feel totally comfortable wearing this watch well. It's not thin, and I'm not going to lie, it won't fit under the tightest of dress cuffs, but they have gone out of their way to make roughly a quarter of the case thickness a sloped crystal, and then there is a conical bezel, so it should slide underneath a jacket cuff just fine. Taking a quick look at the strap, it's a handsome piece. Sort of anthracite strap. It's somewhere between gray and black with this electrifying turquoise contrast. You can see they're using large rectangular symmetrical scales. This is a very good cut of the beast, so to speak. We've got a folded edge and on the bottom small round scale alligator in turquoise. That's important because the best brands, whether Vacheron, indies like Debatoon, FP Journe, even some of the most premium Omegas now, gator on both sides is a sign that the brand knows and gets it because it's more expensive, but most people would pay more money for a strap that lasts longer, is easier to clean, and looks great longer. So gator on both sides is the answer. It really does wear more gradually. We have an Arnold & Son buckle. You can see a little media blast and then polish. We have a combination of a twin trigger release and a double fold. So double fold is always a bit more friendly to a small wrist than single fold. A one big up and over on a single fold can actually pinch a small wrist. Double is a lot better in that regard. And because this is a large and heavy watch, having a trigger release system where you have to press both to actually open up the clasp is a fail-safe against a sudden motion of the wrist. A friction fit clasp can fly open, a trigger clasp cannot. The lugs are beautifully executed, and you can see we'll get very close. They're actually attached to the case by welding. That's a really good look. Now, Arnold & Son only makes about 1,000 watches a year. When you're doing that, you can do things like this. You can't always weld lugs and then hand file them to get that sharp break between lug and case. But if you're making very few watches over a full year, you can pay attention to these tiny traditional refinements. We have an Arnold & Son logo, and of course this is a Swiss brand. It was originally recreated in the 1990s by a company called the British Masters that today is best known for Graham, and they named all of their sub-brands after famous British watchmakers. So this is a Swiss brand today, but the Arnold & Son name is in homage to traditional British watchmaking. The crystal is dramatically boxed, and you could see why. That enormous spherical moon face is so tall that at 12 millimeters in diameter, you need a huge vaulted sapphire to clear it. Now, let's do a quick loom shot because you might be surprised. Both of the opal elements, the dial and one half of the moon, are luminescent. So you could see this dark side of the moon in turquoise and the light side of the moon in luminescent opal. I'll show you the reverse side so you can see how it looks from the back. It's a wild thing to see, day or night, but almost ghostly, ethereal, alien-like. Feels like a close encounter in the dark. The turquoise is beautifully executed, and you can see its grain and its marbling is incredibly handsome because it is a natural material. No two dials among the 18, or I guess this is 18 plus 1 because this is a prototype, but no two dials will ever be exactly alike. The opal's a little bit more consistent. Catch-along opal, it's a white coloration, made a bit more homogeneous by the presence of the luminescent material on top. You can see we've got blued skeletonized hands with skeletonized indices, radially arrayed Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4, and then there is a satinated and beveled chapter ring surrounding it. Of course, the watch is beautifully made with a manufacture movement because the parent company of La Joux-Perret is Citizen, and also to an extent Louis Vuitton. But the important thing about Arnold Son is that its parent company is La Joux-Perret. So LJP is one of the great manufacturers in the business, and like I said, they have powerful friends, and Arnold Son, through La Joux-Perret, has powerful friends. This movement, manual wind with a 3 Hz beat rate, a 90-hour power reserve, and I'd say the only feature it doesn't have is some sort of stop seconds function, but it would be hacking anyway because this doesn't have a seconds hand. You can see that there's a unique mechanism for setting the moon phase that's a bit easier to understand in precise terms than simply eyeballing the spherical moon from the front. You can also see that there's a sunray motif across these bridges that emanates out from an imaginary center point beneath this moon phase display. You can see engine turning, satination, the beveling on the edge of the bridges is absolutely gorgeous, mirrored and true high horology finish. We have here lots of little details like different sizes of engine turned perlage and wheels that have been internally beveled. You can also see the jewel sinks have been internally beveled. The screws have been fired blue. And then you can see this is Arnold Son, manufactured caliber 1021. It's a huge movement at 37.6 millimeters in diameter, so a hand and glove fit for this large case. And then it's a 35 jewel movement. You can see it has many different focal planes, as it's a fairly deep movement with attractive architecture, meaning the size, proportion, and relative positioning of the parts in relation to each other. Finishing is one half of the aesthetics of a movement, architecture is the other. And then this has a 30-meter water resistance, so splashes and rain exposure only, but being steel and lively and colorful, you don't have to put this in the box or the safe deposit box until the next time you dress up. Short of submergence, this watch is designed to be used every day. So reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details, and through me I can get you in touch with Arnold Son to get one of these. There's also a rose gold version, but it's a limited series, even scarcer. I believe they're all making 5 of those. So again, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.